Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The people of Zimbabwe have got a very simple choice. Simple in the sense that the circumstances have made it so. Should they support the Gaza revolution or not? That is the choice. The immediate, obvious thing for some people is, well, Gaza has come out and denounced Mnangagwa as corrupt, incompetent, and therefore must go. Make no mistake about it. What Gaza was saying is what many people have known but did not dare to say. That's why it struck such an accord with so many people. But if that was the only thing, then no problem. But in this particular case, we should also remember that the same Gaza and his fellow war veterans are the people who imposed Mnangagwa in 2017. And we can go back further. They are the ones who imposed Robert Gabriel Mugabe since 1980 for 37 years. The same war veterans. So things are not as simple, and we should not try to pretend that they are that simple when they are not. Because if you do that, you end up making a big mistake. So the issue here now is, should the people support the Gaza revolution? My humble opinion, we should learn from the past as well. We should appreciate what are the benefits and the prices we'll pay for that support. In this particular case, it's very simple. If we support the Gaza revolution, we must also accept that it comes as a package. Gaza and his friends have made it very clear that they want to replace Mnangagwa with VP Chiwenga. They've not made any secret of that. For those of you who can't remember it, here it is. Here's a video of Gaza saying that.
Are you against the 2030 slogan?
Yeah, I'm very much against it. I think from my last interview, now that this is bullshit. You know? This is bullshit.
But you...
Yes. Fighters. One way up in the State House.
But you were two guys. Robert Gabriel Mugabe was your guy.
Fuck off, man.
Mnangagwa was your guy.
When we say my war veterans, one way, I do that. Yeah. One way, right? Our man nationalists, don't have my war veterans. You know?
What's the difference?
I'm not prepared to expand. Yeah.
In other words, this is about power. This same scene was reenacted in 2017 when some of Geza's friends in the war veterans, in fact, on one of the press conference where they spoke, he was there, in which they were calling for Mugabe to go. And they made it clear they wanted Mnangagwa to take over. So we've been here before. As much as now Geza wants to pretend that he and his fellow war veterans had nothing to do with Mugabe or Mnangagwa. But be it as it may, the point here is those two individuals were imposed by the select few who have had the say in who governs Zimbabwe. And that is at the heart of the problem here. If there was free, fair, and credible elections, and Geza and friends put forward Chiwenga, and he was to win the majority in a free, fair, and credible election, so be it. That is what we want. That is what we should be aiming for. But that is not what Geza and friends are saying here. They are saying they would want Chiwenga to be in power. They will impose Chiwenga, just as they imposed Mnangagwa in 2017. When the people came out in their hundreds of thousands in support of the coup, it was a package. Yes, the coup would also deliver Mugabe must go. But the coup would also mean replacing Mugabe with Mnangagwa. The subtle difference is not being emphasized now, but it is there. And we should not be so naive to pretend that we don't see it. So the issue here is, if we support the Geza revolution, we are necessarily supporting the solution he's putting forward. Chiwenga will become state president. In other words, we are reverting back to 2017, where we replace one dictator with another. Some people have argued here that supporting Geza will, yes, stop Mnangagwa staying on and corrupting the constitution. Even if he did stay on, we can still stop him. Because for him to succeed with his proposal that he should stay on until 2030, he has got to amend the constitution. And he has got to put that to the people of Zimbabwe in a referendum. And he has got to win that referendum. In this particular instance, we have a fair chance of making sure that he doesn't win that referendum, because we've got an ass up our sleeves. The 2023 elections were not free, fair, and credible. And this was endorsed by SADC and the AU. They did not take the next logical step and deny ZANU-PF legitimacy because of two things. Number one, CCC leaders participated in those elections. And even when SADC and the AU condemned the process as flawed and illegal, they still went ahead and take up their seats. That cannot be swept under the carpet. And the second reason is Zimbabweans participated in those elections in their millions. Chamisa conned his supporters, telling them that he had plugged all the vote rigging loopholes. Hashtag called the Senate. CCC is going to win big. And they believed it. And they participated in those elections in their millions. SADC and the AU could not ignore that. In this particular case, if we're to go to a referendum, if we do not participate in the election process, because we know that the process is flawed and illegal, and SADC itself and the AU have said the same thing, I think there is a fair chance that this time SADC will deny ZANU-PF political legitimacy, as they did in 2008. That argument makes a lot more sense than keeping on participating in a process which you have been told is flawed. And which you yourself know, if you participate, you give the process legitimacy. The main problem we have in Zimbabwe is that we are a nation that makes decisions on the basis of very little information, if any at all. The issue of participating in flawed elections has been discussed over and over again. Ever since the MDC leaders failed to implement even one token reform during the 2008 to 2013 GNU, SADC called a special summit in which they advised Morgan Tsvangirai and company, do not participate in the 2013 elections without reforms. Their advice was ignored. And we, the ordinary Zimbabweans, were not paying attention to the point where when Tsvangirai and company decided they were going to participate and told us that they would win, we believed them. And after that, 2018, they participated again in the same flawed elections, no reforms. ZANU-PF went on to rig the elections. And then a repeat 2023. Of course. What else could SADC do? We cannot avoid the reality that we Zimbabweans have become our own worst enemy. We have failed ourselves by failing to pay attention to detail. So let me repeat here. The 2017 military coup, as much as people supported it for the sake of Mugabe must go, he did go. But the price we paid is that by supporting it, we also gave legitimacy to the coup plotters' solution, replacing Mugabe with Mnangagwa. It did not solve our fundamental problem. The whole idea of Mugabe must go was based on because Mugabe is a dictator. We failed to remove him from office because he rigs elections. Well, Mnangagwa went on to rig the 2018 elections, went on to rig the 2023 elections, and is proposing to extend his illegitimacy by amending the constitution. So we end up with another dictator who is proving to be just as difficult to get rid of. All because we failed to pay attention to detail. Because even 2017, people were warned that supporting the coup would be a big mistake. At least let's learn something from that. If we are going to support Geza and company, we are just repeating the same mistake we made in 2017. Yes, we'll have stopped Mnangagwa extending his stay in power beyond 2028. But if Geza and company get in, they will feel they have got the right to rig the elections, the 2028 elections, so that Chiwenga stays in power. And he will rig those elections. Make no mistake about it. ZANU-PF will never reform himself out of office. That is a fundamental truth that some people keep making the mistake of forgetting. So I reiterate the problem here. We have a simple choice. We can either support Geza and company, and that may stop the ED 2030 bandwagon, but it will also give the Chiwenga dictatorship legitimacy. It will be impossible to stop Chiwenga and company rigging the 2028 elections, just as it was impossible to stop Mnangagwa rigging the 2018 and then the 2023 elections. If we deny Geza support and make it abundantly clear that this is an internal affair in ZANU-PF, which we have no interest in, because the outcome of it is totally unacceptable. We cannot afford to have another swap of one dictator for another as a solution. to risk ED staying on, and maybe even come up with a referendum to try to amend the constitution, or he may even stay on himself to contest the 2028 elections. But either way, if we keep our heads and refuse to participate in those processes until reforms are implemented, because we have got SADC and the AU on our side this time, we stand a very good chance that SADC and the AU will deny ZANU-PF political legitimacy as they did in 2008. And this time, we'll see to it that the reforms, the democratic reforms, are finally implemented. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.